Hello again and welcome back to another one. And today we have a couple of topics to cover, from one that took a turn for the worst following claims about Eminem's reaction to controversial rapper Tom McDonald that sparked conversations on the web a few hours ago thanks to a latest Tom McDonald diss track by McDonald, who got quote-unquote exposed by D12's conniver a few hours ago, and we'll get to more on this in a bit. Today we also have more on the Kendrick Lamar versus Drake battle, as while many fans and rappers believe a couple of lies were thrown into the mix by both Drake and Kendrick Lamar.
All this stuff can't be true. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything everybody's saying can't be true. Like, good God, you know?
Since it was some wild allegations during the battle that raised eyebrows. However, we got to hear from a Kendrick Lamar associate a few hours ago who claimed Kendrick was spitting all facts about Drake. And knowing what was said during the battle, this has now sparked another round of debate, and we'll expand on this momentarily. And today we also have one that came out of left field from Fat Joe, who left many music fans on social media in shock when he compared Chris Brown to Michael Jackson. And we'll get to Fat Joe's argument at the latter part of the video, as he believes it is time that music fans come clean about the greatness of Chris Brown. And I'll be looking forward to your thoughts on Fat Joe's argument later in the comment section. And starting with the latest on Eminem's Houdini, thanks to the song, Eminem's monthly listeners on Spotify continues to rise in a way that you'd think he just dropped an album, as Eminem surpassed Ariana Grande a few hours ago to become the 6th artist in the world when it comes to monthly listeners on the platform, with over 82.3 million listeners. And it remains Copeland for the most part when it comes to how Eminem critics have been taking these reports, as we got this one a few hours ago after Eminem became #1 in the world for hip-hop artists. When was the last time you heard or seen someone listen to Eminem while they were driving? And we have come full circle back to the usual, it seems.
You sliding around playing Eminem in your car, you and your old lady?
Headache.
Sorry.
Man, I got a headache. And I'll take it away from you. When have you ever heard an Eminem song in the club? Because I mean, I'm not taking away from it. I don't hear Eminem in the streets.
Damn, my head is splitting, man.
Sorry.
Don't you get tired?
And right now, Houdini, that was released on the 31st of May, is currently #1 on iTunes in the world. And speaking on the United Kingdom, Eminem keeps exceeding expectations, as on YouTube Music United Kingdom, Eminem's second week for Houdini has turned out to be the second biggest week of the year in music in 2024 in the country, as Eminem earned over 2.7 million views. And for some context, Band for Band by Central C and Lil Baby before this was the second biggest week in the UK with 1.97 million views. And before we get to how Eminem was dragged into a beef between Tom McDonald and McDonald that got a plot twist a few hours ago, we got to hear from Kendrick's associate DJ Head a few hours ago on the Effective Immediately podcast, where he claimed that Kendrick told him that all he said about Drake were facts. And boy, you know that it was some wild allegations during the battle apart from the PDF file allegations. And check out some snippets from the podcast.
You can't run from yourself in life, period. All your bullshit will always catch up. But ayahuasca puts all of these things that you've been running from on the table. Like, you are forced to face them. And it's like you're chained, to like a wall or something, and you keep trying to look away, and it's like something holding your eyes open, like, no, you gonna see this. You gonna see this, you gonna observe it, and you gonna deal with it. That's what I think he did on Meet the Grams. And I don't know if everything on Meet the Grams was true, right? I don't know, but a large part of it was just a self-reflection.
I mean, he told me everything was facts. So
I don't know.
But to me, that again, yes, I agree with you. He's done a lot of work. Even me knowing him for as long as I've known him, I could tell he's different as a man, right? But I noticed that through a lot of the homies where, I could tell you were seeing a therapist, or I could tell you doing internal work on yourself, or I could tell you a different person than you used to be, because you would respond to these stimulus different than you responded now.
So as you heard, Head claims Kendrick told him it was spitting all facts. And boy, many users on social media aren't buying what he's trying to sell at the moment. Even some self-proclaimed Kendrick fans reacted with takes like, as a Kendrick fan, is he really supposed to say anything else but vouch for the song being 100% true? This does nothing until evidence comes out for either artist. It is some things that were said about Drake that, if true, means Drake should be locked up right now as we speak, and this response went viral. Kinda need proof of Drake having a daughter though, and some have now concluded, of course he would tell a mega fan like DJ Head that laughing emoji. What is the name of the child? Or her mama then? Kendrick called Drake a liar on all his disses, only for him to drop the biggest lie. And personally, I believe they both spiced up their diss tracks with some lies. In Drake's case, when it comes to the claims he made about Kendrick's son and Dave Free, and in Kendrick's case, the claims he made about Drake having a daughter. These are flat out lies in my opinion, and until we see some receipts, I'll hold these positions. But what are your thoughts on DJ Head's take that Kendrick told him it was all facts? And moving on, Eminem was name dropped on Mac Lethal's diss track aimed at Tom McDonald that was recently released, and it included some bars that are on brand with our last topic, since Mac Lethal included these bars about Eminem's reaction to Tom McDonald's Dear Slim when he rapped, "I went on tour with D12. Those dudes are my new friends. They showed me some video you made for Eminem. They told me they were in the studio with Slim. When he watched it, he cringed and he cut it off 30 seconds in. Eminem doesn't like you. He does not respect you. You made a song about him begging him to peg you. Have you noticed that publicly he's never even mentioned it?" And the song in question is Dear Slim, when Tom McDonald dropped $100,000 on Eminem's One of One NFT beat. And word about this got to D12's conniver, since Mac Lethal mentioned that D12 members showed him the video of Eminem's reaction. And before we get to conniver's reaction, from the get-go, users on social media were split on this, as on one end some expanded, "That doesn't surprise me. Tom McDonald is the worst rapper of all time," while on the other end, we got this doesn't add up. After Tom released his song, Royce shouted out Tom saying, "Tell Tom McDonald we disagree with his views, but respect his honesty." But both points can be correct, as Eminem most likely found it cringe regardless of Royce's shout out, and word about this got to conniver, who took to Twitter to shut it down. "Eminem changed my life forever. I wouldn't go against him for no rapper. We never heard or toured with this guy a day in our life." Where do y'all get this ish from? Laughing emojis. And as you can see, when it comes to diss tracks over the past few weeks, it has been a lot of quote lies, but Mac Lethal's diss is the first one to get officially shut down. Actually, not the first one, this is the second one this year, since if you recall, Benzino was claiming that he wrote Rap Elvis for days until the truth came out officially weeks later when Ness Lee confirmed the speculations.
So when it's time to write a verse, there's always somebody there to get a line. There's always someone there to get a, you know what I'm saying, a verse. You know what I'm saying? A verse.
Excusez, dames et heren.
And before we get to more from Conniver on this discussion, the fact that he shut it down has sparked reactions like, "No way that dude just got caught lying, skull emojis. That is crazy in a rap beef." But I actually want to know M's thoughts on Tom's song Truly, LOL. And Conniver had more to add, as in response to this tweet about Mac Lethal's claims, Cap, "Eminem hasn't seen Conniver or Swifty in years." He reacted with, "He hasn't? Damn, you know a lot about our inner circle. Whatever you say, boss." Thumbs up emoji.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
And moving on to the next point, Fat Joe sparked heated debates a few hours ago when he made this comparison between Chris Brown and Michael Jackson. Check out some snippets.
Let me tell you something, I gotta get to this Chris Brown show. If Chris Brown never got into the controversy with Rihanna, we would be calling him Michael Jackson right now. Not like Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson. He is the most talented singer, artist, performer, hit maker of our time. There's nobody even close to Chris Brown. And it's time we move past it. It's been 20 something years that I know of. There's no more incidents. Man, we're gonna let this lifetime go by without saying the truth. And so what happens is, when the truth is an unpopular decision, everybody gets scared to say it. They get canceled, especially famous people or somebody like that, right? But you know, the streets, they know what it is. Streets always know, they tell you the truth. There's the streets still bumping R. Kelly. He's in jail, he did terrible things. They still bumping R. Kelly. So what I'm trying to say is that it's a shame that we lying and we're not giving it up to the king of R&B, the king of music. I mean, you know, the Michael Jackson, you know, we be thinking he could battle Michael Jackson. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not lying. If you really look at his body of work and you look at all his hits, you see what he does, you remove from your mind that we don't like it. We don't like that he had a controversy. We don't like that. We don't condone the queens. We out here to protect the queens. We get that. He was a little kid 20-something years ago.
And boy, this was met with memes like,
we would be calling him Michael Jackson right now.
We? We.
Damn.
as users on the web came for Fat Joe, as most music fans aren't buying it. This blew up, for instance. Another reminder how MJ's legacy has been boiled down to dance. Doing backflips does not equal being a great songwriter and global cultural avatar. Levels of fame. Chris Brown hasn't even reached Usher's status and doesn't even have Bobby's "Don't Be Cruel" in his arsenal. Be serious. Although there's a minority who agree with him. I agree totally. I said it back a while ago when Raven had mentioned Chris in the same tone of Diddy. Chris was young, he apologized, and Rihanna accepted his apology. If she could forgive, why come some of you can't? I don't understand. Give him his props. And knowing what Michael Jackson was able to achieve in music, even without the Rihanna incident, it would have been pretty much impossible for anyone in this era to measure up. So sadly, I'll have to hit Fat Joe with this from Eminem.
I know it's your opinion, but your opinion's wrong.
But over to you guys, share your thoughts below. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one.